Monday, 1st of August 2022. Now for us in the Southern Hemisphere, this is a date that reminds us summer is coming. But I guess for those guys in the Northern Hemisphere, especially in the EU, this date must be a hairy date. Because for them, winter is coming, and from all appearances it seems like it's going to be, most probably, quite a cold one for many people in the European Union. The first topic I have here, EU reluctantly agrees to Russian gas cuts. Europe's energy ministers have agreed to curb gas demand Tuesday as the bloc braces for more reduction in supply. The ministers approved an EU-wide proposal to voluntarily cut gas use by 15% from August to March. However, the deal may already be coming apart as Spain has said it will not be hitting the 15% mark, aiming for a more realistic 7%. I have spoken about this many times, and European citizens must just take note that there's another move by the EC to grab more control over your lives. An EC that has never been elected by you. Now this following one is for me just something I shake my head and I just look at it and think to myself, these people live in a dream world, it seems to me. Macron calls food Moscow's weapon of war. Where they come out with all these things. French President Emmanuel Macron denied sanctions have caused the globe food crisis as he kicked off his 3-day tour of Africa, instead blaming Moscow for using it as a weapon of war. Now, you can pause it and read the rest of it, but this rhetoric of theirs are getting monotonous. Blame it on Putin, blame it on Russia. They don't want to look the realities in the face. They screwed up with the sanctions, and now they don't know how to reverse. And the following one is also, for me, it could actually be a what a fuck. EU Foreign Minister Joseph Borrell bemoans unfair image in the Western media. Russia's Foreign Minister Lavrov goes to Africa to try to convince Africans that Europeans are to blame for everything that is happening, and the entire Western press repeats it. I'm going to Africa to say the opposite, the sanctions have nothing to do with it and nobody picks it up. I wonder why nobody wants to pick it up. I think people are generally reluctant to pick up a turd. And then we're getting to this. Italian farmers also rise up in Piedmont. We are not slaves, we are farmers. Then in the evening party with many citizens present, food, beer, music and blessings of the tractors. The political elite is cruising for a bruising, but they are so confident that the plebs will never rise up and that they have everything under control. Yeah, they should really sit down for a moment and think. And this is just an interesting meme that I saw. I support my black friends but not BLM. I support my white friends but not KKK. I don't support hate groups. Skin color means nothing. You're either a good person or you are not. Such a pity that the world does not want to listen. And then we come to my favorite person, Liz Truss from the UK. UK PM debate halted after incident in the studio. Talk TV presenter Kate McCann has reportedly fainted. Watch as a shocked Foreign Secretary Liz Truss hurriedly rushes off to help the moderator. Shocked. Well, I watched that video and I had my own thoughts, but then I read the comments on Telegram. And you have to grin. Aha, yeah, your challenge, Putin. Run, little rabbit. For next one. Isn't she such a brave woman? Next one. Baxton boosted presenter had a stroke or collapse, totally normal. Next. God knows where she will rush to if Putin startles her. And then this one says, did she pee in her pants? in this one. I guess she thought Putin entered the room. Western leaders are really kids, but like to do big talks. And this guy, ha ha ha, I thought Putin is in the studio. And those are the comments on that incident that was reported. I don't understand what is going on in the UK, but let's wait and see. Time will tell. And then back to the Ukraine, and with this news, Berlin supplies 3 HIMARS multiple launch rocket systems to Ukraine. The confirmation follows the reports from Ukraine's defense minister Monday that 3 Gepard anti-air systems were also supplied to Kiev's forces. And the West keeps on sending weapons and keeps on sending weapons, and the Ukraine Nazis use it to shoot the civilians in the Donbass. And then this one, also from the Ukraine, and I wonder what the US taxpayers will have to say about this. Ukraine to seek natural gas lend-lease from the US. Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal's proposition to Washington comes on the same day that the EU energy ministers vowed to cut gas consumption by 15%. Now, I just wonder how will this now work? They will now order gas from who, I don't know, and the US will pay for that gas, and then Ukraine will pay it back over a period of 100 years or what. I'm not so sure how that is going to work out. And then there is this little snippet that I picked up. Opinion: Ukraine has ceased to exist as a state. This opinion was expressed by the deputy head of the civil military administration of the Kherson region, Kirill Stremosov. Ukraine as a state actually no longer exists. Now there's simply the embezzlement of all the money that the West hands over to them, Stremosov said. And I think the guy has got a point here. But I have read some messages where it seems to me that there is unrest brewing in the Ukraine. It looks like the Ukraine population is busy organizing themselves to get rid of those Nazis in Kiev. And just a follow-up, Germany ships Gepard air defense systems to Ukraine. Kiev has just received 3 self-propelled anti-aircraft vehicles from Berlin, according to the Ukraine's defense minister Alexei Reznikov. Reznikov said that the transfer of Gepards marks the first shipment of the 15 total weapon systems promised by Berlin to Kiev. I wonder where the Germans get these things that they are giving to the Ukraine, because rumors floating around is that most of the NATO nations has basically disarmed themselves with this Ukraine adventure, and many of those nations have now got serious issues because of equipment and of ammunition. And then this is a snippet around these things that I've been talking about, where the West can just left, right and center just steal countries' assets. Afghan reserve released after US-Taliban talks. Discussions between the US and Taliban officials have resulted in proposals to release billions of dollars of Afghan central bank reserves held abroad into an overseas trust fund, although differences remain about how to control it. American delegates suggested a third-party control of the trust fund after talks in Doha, possibly modeled on the World Bank's Afghanistan Reconstruction Trust Fund, to allow access to the $9 billion held abroad, $7 billion in the US. Some conditions include a State Department contractor to ensure Afghan Central Bank complies with anti-laundering standards, with an initial $3.5 billion tranche central to discussion, although no agreement has been made yet. Yeah, of course, they're going to struggle with the agreements because these cretins are going to try and figure out how they can steal a lot of that money for themselves. And then I get this one. Time of American exceptionalism is over, former CIA officer. A former CIA officer, Raymond McGovern, says that Washington is engaged in a proxy war with Russia and that Ukraine is the battlefield. He also noted that the persistent crossing of Moscow's red lines is only making matters worse. I like this Ray McGovern. I've listened to a few of his debates, and the guy talks a lot of sense, and he knows what he's talking about. But it's such a pity that the White House, or the shit house as I call them, does not employ really capable people to work there and make sure that decent policies are implemented. I've got a bundle of those confused, inexperienced guys there that reacts knee-jerk time and again. And then we get to this note. I think it's one of those things that you must read and think about it. The Zionists are in control of the US and the UK. Their plan calls for us to kill ourselves in another world war. Luckily, the guys on the other side, Putin, Xi, Khamenei, are wiser, kinder, cleverer. They won't be caught. And that was a response on a post that said, you can talk all you want to Russia and China, but they will never let you know their intentions. Concentrate on our military, food, energy and border security. It's the economy and security, stupid. Yeah, that's quite a mouthful, and there's a lot of things there that we have to ponder. And if you are able to be objective and logical about these things and apply common sense, there's a few things in this little snippet that should actually make you think. And then I find this. Which of these countries actually attacked US soil, or even the US in general? Illiterate and brainwashed people. Rule of clowns. Who Americans consider their greatest enemies. And you can stop it here and look at that thing if you want. Interestingly enough, 22% of Americans think Russia is an enemy. It's quite funny. 57% see North Korea as dangerous, and then Iran, and then Syria, and then Iraq, and then Afghanistan, and then Russia, and then comes Libya. But that shows you how ignorant the people are. How can Libya be a danger to America? How can Yemen be a danger? How can Palestine be a danger? How can Somalia be a danger to America? I don't understand these people. Warmongers, that's what they are. And then here we come to that moment of the day, of the presentation. What a fuck. One of these people banned dissidents from leaving the country, shut down protesters' bank accounts, declared martial law and banned protests against his regime. The other person is Vladimir Putin. I just laugh when I read things like this. The world has gone crazy. I said to my wife last night, I'm standing on the platform and I'm watching this train going by. There's no way I'm going to get onto this train. And on that note, please like, subscribe, share, and thank you very much for your support. Have a nice day.